and then just bam, smashing to all-time high. If we check S&P 500, you can see higher low here, and as I showed you, Nasdaq lower low. So this is a bullish divergence. Hi everyone, Hasi here. I've been trading and investing for over 8 years, and this is the place where we'll leave out the emotions and focus on logics. So let's start with the weekly calendar and what we can focus on here. I mean, we have some GBP red folders here on Wednesday, but what I'm focusing on Wednesday is the FOMC meeting, and this is Swedish time, so keep that in mind. And then we have some non-farm employment change. There are a lot of high volatility red folder news that are planned to be released here on Wednesday, Thursday, so keep that in mind. And then we have unemployment claims, tentative. That's not the big deal. This is interesting. And then this is very interesting in my opinion. If we scroll down a bit, we can see some Euro folder and GBP folders. Of course, you can keep this in mind too on Friday, but my main focus this week is basically these two folders here for now. If they update something, it will maybe look different. But for now, I'm interested of these two. If we check the earnings calendar, we can see Monday, nothing special in my opinion. Wednesday, Nvidia. This will be very interesting. Nvidia has a huge impact on the market, so keep that in mind. They have a report on Wednesday. Depending on the results they present, that will have a huge impact on the market. So I'm really looking forward to that. Thursday, we have Walmart. Friday, nothing special. Nvidia is the main focus for this week in terms of reports. Fear and greed. We are, jumping around here in extreme fear. We will soon look at the charts and decide if most probably we will jump up to greed and higher levels, or if this is a start of some kind of bear market, because a lot of people are talking about that, messaging me about that. So it will be interesting to show you my thoughts. In terms of fear and greed index for the crypto market, we are in extreme fear and we haven't been here since this area, which is like March 2025. And here I'm going to look at the Bitcoin's chart and show you what my current thoughts are, because our plan was, we're planning for extreme greed. We're planning to all-time highs and higher levels. Am I really thinking about that for now? I'm going to show you my thoughts, so stick to the end. Bitcoin liquidation index. Let me just show you in 4 hour here. Here we can see a lot of longs are being liquidated. I mean, if we check this area from, beginning of November until now. So that can be a sign of building up some kind of low to aim for higher levels. But I mean, in the start of a bear market, a lot of longs are being liquidated and continues to be liquidated. So that is something you need to keep in mind. And I'm not saying we are in a bear market. I'm just giving you perspectives on stuff. And the daily exchange volume, I've been telling you, we want to keep this low because that is potentially a higher low. And if we break that low, that's just telling us that there is no interest. People are not willing to put their money in crypto and trade it. So that's really important. If we don't have the volume, then it's hard to push up the markets to higher levels. And if we start with the Bitcoin's chart, now we are in the weekly chart, we can see that this move up have been with low volume, and what is happening now until the end. We had high buying volume here, which is telling us there is huge interest and these moves are high probable moves. Right now, in this area here, we got low buying volume and high selling volume. So these moves are the high probable moves in this case. So keep this in mind. And now, if we check the monthly chart, this is a monthly fair value gap. I mean, if we close a monthly candle below it, it's a huge sign of weakness. I mean, we have already shown a lot of signs of weakness, as I've been telling you, and we have not been breaking above levels I've been looking at, because we wanted to break above this, correction, break again to become bullish. And for now, I'm gonna remove this, and this is not something I'm looking for right now, because we have huge selling volume, low buying volume. Why should we aim for all-time high? And we have been correcting really aggressively. If we compare this to the corrections earlier, we can see here we had a lot of buying volume and then selling volume, and then a lot of buying volume came in and we started jumping up. So keep this in mind. This is the sign you want to look for before deciding if we're putting a low. Now I'm just talking about volume. And in this case, we can see a lot of selling volume coming in. They are controlling the market. If we're not getting a candle like this that is green and huge like this, then we can't decide that the buyers are in control yet. And the first thing is to see that in the daily chart, and then we can look for seeing it in the weekly chart. Because right now we haven't been seeing it clearly here in the daily chart, as you can see. We're just smashing a lot of selling volume candles here. So it's really important to show a sign of strength. And for now, if we manage to break above that high and then correction and break again, of course I can start aiming for higher levels, but it's really important to check the volume. If we go up, fine, that's totally normal. Like in a bear market, it's totally normal that we get these corrections and then we create just a lower high and then we go down again. So keep this in mind. If the market jumps up, this doesn't mean that we need to go to all-time high. We need to break like this, correction, break again, and we need to have volume with us. That's really important. I'm gonna keep you updated, of course, but this is the thoughts for now. Overall, I mean, think about this. Overall, it could be a test of this weekly demand and then just bam, smashing to all-time high. Fine. Then we can just change our minds if we get the buying volume we want to see. It's really important to be adaptive. And why I'm saying this right now, because we are in a time where the bull market usually ends. And I'm not saying we're gonna end it now. I'm just saying the probabilities are not in the favor for the bulls. These are my thoughts specifically about Bitcoin now. If we check NASDAQ, we can see it is still respecting these demand zones in the weekly chart. And something interesting here in NASDAQ is that NASDAQ took out this low, and I know S&P didn't do that. That is a bullish divergence, so keep that in mind also. But to become bullish here in NASDAQ, I would like to see us close above this fair value gap in the 4-hour chart. Be able to do that correction and then break again. That would increase the probabilities that we would like to aim for higher levels. But for now, it's really important to respect the trend we are having currently. And overall, it's up, but in the short run, it's down. So have that in mind. If we start to break and close below these lows in the weekly chart and higher time frames like that, that is a huge bearish sign. So have that in your back head too. If we check S&P 500, you can see higher low here. And as I showed you, NASDAQ, lower low. So this is a bullish divergence, and that increases the probabilities that we can aim for higher levels, but we would like to see a sign of strength. So in this case, in S&P 500, of course, we can look for some kind of correction up to the 50% of this down move, and then a small down move like this, and then a break again. That is something you can look for both in NASDAQ and S&P, but this is the same fair value gap you would like to see a closure above to increase the probabilities that the bulls are in control. Overall, because we have this bullish divergence, we are still respecting demand zones in the higher time frames. I am bullish and I'm aiming for higher levels in indices. And generally, how the money flow works in the markets, people tend to start selling crypto before their stocks. So keep that in mind. Stock markets can be like in a consolidation while crypto are in a bear market, or stock markets can go up even further while Bitcoin is starting its bear market. So just have that in mind, that everything is not moving aligned together all the time. But these are my thoughts for this week's market outlook. I hope you liked it. If you would like to see more videos like this, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and see you in the next one. Bye.